Hello everyone. Okay, so today we are going to begin our chapter number 7, Civilizing the Native, Educating the Nation. Next topic, that is the tradition of orientalism. Okay, so today we are going to do this topic, we are going to cover this topic, and let's begin. So basically in this topic we are going to learn about William Jones. Okay, so what happened in 1783? A person named William Jones. So basically, in 1783, William Jones came in India. For what reason? Because he was appointed as the junior judge in the Supreme Court made by Britishers in Calcutta. Okay, so this in the Supreme Court he was appointed as the junior judge. That's why he came to India for the first time. And then in addition to being in the expert in law, okay, so he was a very expert lawyer, and in spite of that, Jones was a linguist. So what's a linguist? A person who knows a lot of languages, who is familiar with a lot of languages. For example, and a particular definition is also given: someone who knows and studies several languages. Okay, so he was a very great linguist. And how many languages did he know? So he learned Greek and Latin from Oxford University. He learned Greek and Latin from Oxford University, and then he learned French, and English was his own native language, so he knew French and English. And in spite of French and English, he learned Arabic from his friend, and then he learned Persian as well. Okay, so he knew a lot of languages: Greek, Latin, French, English, Arabic, and Persian. Then at Calcutta he began spending many hours a day with pundits who taught him the subtleties of Sanskrit language. So now, when he came to Calcutta, he got interested in Sanskrit language. So then he started spending a lot of time with the pundits who was teaching him Sanskrit language, its grammar, and the poetries and all stuff. Okay, so he got very interested in that, and to study that, to learn Sanskrit, he started studying ancient Indian texts on law, philosophy, religion, politics, morality, arithmetic, medicine, and other sciences. Okay, so these were the main topics of those books which was read by the William Jones. Okay, now Jones discovered that his interest was shared by many British officials living in Calcutta, and who was living before a lot of time at that time. A lot of people were also who has same thinking as William Jones was having at that time. So Englishmen like Henry Thomas Colebrook and Nathaniel Halhed. Okay, so basically Nathaniel Halhed and Henry Thomas Colebrook, both of them were also the same thing. They also were so interested in in this ancient text in English, discovering the ancient Indian heritage, and they mastering Indian languages and translating Sanskrit and Persian works in English. Okay, so Jones, and then Henry Thomas, and then Nathaniel. Three of them were translating Sanskrit and Persian works into English, and they together with them, Jones, who William Jones set up the Asiatic Society of Bengal. This is a very important question. Who set up the Asiatic Society of Bengal? So you will say William Jones set up the Asiatic Society of Bengal with the help of Henry Thomas Colebrook and Nathaniel Halhed, and started a journal. So as he started Asiatic Society of Bengal, he also started a journal named as Asiatic Researches. Okay, so these last lines are very important. Jones set up Asiatic Society of Bengal, and then it comes started a journal called Asiatic Researches. Researches, important one. Okay, next paragraph. Jones and Colebrook came to represent a particular attitude towards India. So what was happening? So here you see, here is your Henry Thomas Colebrook, and Henry Thomas Colebrook and William Jones both have a particular attitude towards India. Both wanted to learn India, to get to know about more and more about India. And here is your Nathaniel Halhed. Okay, so these are the pictures. So basically, why we have seen a kind of similarity between Jones and Colebrook? Because both of them have had a deep respect, have a very great respect for the Western culture as well as Indian culture. Okay, and now they knew that Indian culture has already attained glory in the ancient times. But right now, at the time of freedom, at the time of 18th century, you will say that their glory was declined, was gaining subsequently declined. Okay, so that is why they wanted to understand India, because they wanted to know about it. For them it was very important to rediscover India, so that they would be able to know this. And also, if they will be able to know this, so they will get to know the real ideas and laws of Hindus and Muslims. And only a new study of these texts could form the basis of future development in India. So this was their thought. Okay, so Jones and Colebrook went about discovering ancient texts, understanding their meaning, translating them, and making their findings known to others. This project, they believed, would not help the British learn from Indian culture, but it would also help Indians rediscover their own heritage and understand the lost glories of the past. So what is this? Basically, it is telling about that they did so. Their project was they have to discover the ancient texts, understand their meanings, translate them, and then make their findings known to others, that they found this book, they got to know about this book, what was in this book. So they used to tell others about this. And then this project, how would work, they why did they did why do they believe in this project? They believed in this project because they thought that not only Englishmen would get to learn about ancient would get to learn from ancient texts. In spite of that, even in spite of Englishmen learning, Indians, the natives, would be able to rediscover, to remember, to memorize their glories, their lost glories and all stuff. Okay, so that is why in this process British would become the guardians of Indian culture as well as its masters. So how this could be a question that this could be a question that how the British would become the guardians of Indian culture as well as its masters, because they found it and they wanted to learn about this. They got interested in it and they really wanted to get to know about the Indian text, ancient texts, so that they would be able to get the real ideas and culture of both Hindus and Muslims. Okay. Now, influenced by such ideas, many company officials argued that the British ought to promote Indian rather than Western learning. So now, when all this happened, so a lot of British officials thought that Indian culture should be promoted in India in spite of Western culture. People, the natives of India, should learn from the Indian culture, should learn Indian culture, they should learn Sanskrit, they should learn this all stuff in spite of Western learning. Because first, that they felt that the institutions should be show the study of ancient Indian texts and teach Sanskrit, Persian literature and poetries. This was one thought, that they should, because Indian culture was Indian learning was more better than Western learning, as according to the thoughts of those British people. And another thought which supported this idea was that the British officials thought that Indians should learn those things from which they are already related to, from which they already belong to. They knew about a little about those things, so they should learn those things that they are already know it a little. But they should not British should not make them learn those things which are totally alien to them, means which are totally foreign to them, unknown to them. They don't even know anything about that, like Western culture, right? Only then, they believed, could the British hope to win a place in the hearts of natives. So as Britishers were doing really very rude to Indians, and Indians were not liking, they disliked it all, and they were all time protested, don't want to talk, or they were so it was so tensed under Indians. So to just get a place in the hearts of Indians, this could be a step. So that is why they were just hoping that it could be a step. Okay, now As this idea was taken by Britishers, so this idea was implemented. How this idea was implemented by, with this object in view, a madrasa was set up in Calcutta in 1781. So when was the madrasa set up? Madrasa got set up in Calcutta in 1781. And what was the studies in madrasa going on? Arabic, Persian and Islamic law. Okay, so basically it was for Muslims, Arabic, Persian and Islamic law. And then Hindu college was established in Benares in 1791. As 1781 Madrasa college set up for Arabian, Persian and Islamic law, Hindu college was also set up in Benares 1791 to encourage the study of ancient Sanskrit texts that would be useful for the administration of the country. So the subjects were basically Sanskrit texts and poetries and shlokas and all verses. Not all officials shared these views. Many were very strong in their criticism in the Orientalists. So, as a lot of, I told you about that, a lot of British officials supported this thought that this is a good way to learn, to teach Indians, to civilize Indians, in spite of giving them the Western culture books, which is totally alien to them. But a lot of British officials also thought that Western culture is more civilized than Indian culture. Okay, so this was also a thought which will be learned in the next paragraph, grave errors of the East. Okay, here is a term, orientalists. So in the glossary you can see those with a scholarly knowledge and of the language and culture of Asia. So in Asia, one who has a scholarly knowledge, a lot of knowledge about the language and culture of Asia, those people were known as the orientalists. Okay, that was it in your paragraph. I hope you got it, and if you have any kind of doubt, any kind of question, please mention in the comment section. I'll definitely answer your all questions. And thank you. Have a good day.